administration officials earlier today had a background briefing with reporters about the State of the Union coming up. Can you tell us a little bit more? We understood from the call that the president will be addressing elements of the Build Back Better plan when it comes to things like child care and paid family leave. And officials talked about how those things, if implemented, will lower costs for families, but they were hesitant to use the word inflation or say whether that would be addressed directly in the president's speech. So can you say whether the president will be addressing any new policies, not necessarily new domestic programs, but policies that would address inflation directly?
Well, first let me say the president will absolutely use the word inflation tomorrow, and he will talk about inflation in his speech. Of course, that is a huge issue on the minds of Americans. Now, one thing to note is one of the best, most important steps that the Senate could take is to confirm his slate of eminently qualified nominees to fill out the Federal Reserve Board, given they have a very important role as it relates to inflation. But I think what you will hear the president talk about, and I think this is what they were talking about on this call, is how we're going to address costs for the American people and lower costs. And we talk a lot about inflation in here. Economists talk about inflation. The Federal Reserve talks about inflation. Hugely important. How people experience it is what it means for their pocketbooks, for their budgets, for their bank accounts, and how they're paying for things. And that's why a lot of what you're going to hear about tomorrow as he talks about it is how he's going to reduce costs. Now, the Build Back, parts of his agenda that he has talked about significantly a lot over the course of the last several months, lowering costs for child care, lowering costs for elder care, lowering costs for prescription drugs, those are not done yet. So he will reiterate his call for Congress to move forward on those. But I would also note that in the speech, he's going to make clear that one of the best ways to lower costs over the long run is to increase the productive capacity of our economy, to make more things in America with more American workers contributing and earning a good living. He's going to describe the emerging manufacturing comeback with American companies betting on America again because of the administration's commitment to domestic industrial revitalization and technological development. He will also explain that we can also lower costs by promoting fair competition in the U.S. economy, and there are new steps to lower, and he will talk about steps to lower consumer prices and level the playing field for American businesses and ocean shipping, and new steps to protect seniors and other nursing home residents by cracking down on unsafe nursing homes. And he's also going to talk about, reflect on one of the strongest labor market recoveries in American history, and make clear that it's important to continue to take steps to eliminate barriers to good-paying jobs for workers across America. So I would expect that you will hear a lot, the American people will hear a lot about how he's going to lower their costs, how he's going to continue to build a strong economy over the long term.
Follow up on what you were saying about addressing lowering costs for families. The president has been encouraging Congress to pass at least elements or his entire Build Back Better agenda for months. Congress has been negotiating for months. What gives the president any confidence that this time around things would be more likely to pass, given that we are just months out from midterm elections?
Because there is strong support across the country for lowering costs for prescription drugs. It's incredibly popular. Who wants to pay more for prescription drugs? I don't know why that gets to be a Democratic idea, but we're happy to own that one. Or for lowering the cost of child care, for lowering the cost of elder care and health care. There's also strong support for those items and those priorities and those good ideas in the Senate among Senate Democrats. So he's going to keep pressing to get it done, and he thinks the American people want us to get it done. Go ahead.